we are up close and personal today because I got cute things. Anyway, also don't mind my winter wear. It was a whole whopping like 55 degrees outside today. So it's a little cold and I want to wear something snuggly and warm. And I know it's stupid that it's like 50 degrees outside and it's the last day of April. And I've got to film all of this and edit all this in one day. Hopefully it works out. I doubt it, but we're going to do it anyway. So my life has been really crazy over the last few weeks, and when I've had time, a little bit of spare time, I have worked on making some cute figurines, hence why we're super up close and personal today. I made some tiny figurines. There's like Totoro and all the other Totoros. I'm showing you the biggest ones. I made robot arm, a robot head. But anyway, I've got like Kiki. It's Gigi on the broom, on the cute little broom. So, you probably couldn't see those very well, but either way, I made a kind of cute bunch of cute little figurines out of polymer clay. I'll probably later on insert some clips of me making those, depending on how good of a footage that is, because I've never filmed myself making teeny tiny little figurines out of polymer clay. Also, I didn't film myself making all of them because, like I said, I did this in my spare time, so if I had time to set up a camera and I knew I was going to have a few hours, then I filmed. But most of the time I didn't because I did it in a bunch of teeny tiny little pieces. Anyway, I'm kind of all over the place because I'm like panicking over filming and editing in one day. I'm learning not to do this ever again. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I have... Oh, scary Raven. I have 4 jars. One big one with 3. Oh my gosh. One big one with 2 little ones in it, and this other one. And as you can tell with like the 2 small ones, hopefully you can tell, is they're all going to stack. Hopefully they will all stack, they will all stack. And they will be a bunch of, I need to put these down. This is terrifying me. Hold on a second. Okay, we'll keep this one up. Anyway, so my game plan is to make a bunch of terrariums and stack them and have the cute little Ghibli figurines in them. My original game plan, oh, this one still has a sticker residue on it. Darn it. My original game plan was each tier was going to be a different Ghibli movie, but I kind of had a little fun making a bunch of Ghibli figurines and characters, and I didn't stick to just 4 Ghibli movies. So now it's going to be like Where's Waldo, but with a bunch of Ghibli characters, and they're going to be everywhere, mixed everywhere. And that's the idea of going with them. So I have my 4 terrariums that do stack very beautifully on top of each other. I have, like I said, all my figurines that I previously made, and past Raven will show you videos possibly. I have, over here on this side, some plants. I have this little guy that I picked up at the clearance section in my local Lowe's. And I think it will work beautifully for the terrarium. By the way, it's called Dragon's Tongue, in case anybody wanted to know. This little plant that you can't see, this little, if I can pick it up, this little plant right in here, I used to have a bunch of them. I don't remember what they're called, but I've never done good at raising them and taking care of them, and they've always just been sad and sad little things. I do know they do get bigger because I know a lot of people put them in their pots. I know a lot of people put them in their pots on their front porch or in their gardens outside, and they do get bigger. I'm hoping if I just keep it in a small terrarium, that A, will be happy, and B, it will stay small. So those are my 2 big main plants. I kind of wish I had a little more, but it is what it is. Over here, my takeout containers are, I should probably check on these. I haven't checked on these guys in a while. Yeah, you need some air and some help. Okay, we have some... These must be the newer ones I collected. We have some moldy moss. This must be the pot I grabbed newer. I have collected moss throughout the last couple of years from my yard. And I don't recommend foraging for moss. And if you do, collect small, no bigger than a quarter size amount, because you don't want to ruin the ecosystem that they are and forage too much. But anyway, I collect moss throughout my yard and then put them in these little takeout containers to grow. And I've been doing it for a while. Now I gotta figure out where to put this. Oh, I've been doing it for a few years or for a while. Okay, so that I would have moss for this project. This one seems like it's going really well. They've been sitting on my windowsill. So like this one looks great. It is completely filled out. So that's a lot of great moss. Woohoo. This one seems a little sad. This one, oh no, this one's fine. It's got a lot of moss and some clovers. Oh, that'd be cool, because then I can have some clovers to go with these guys. Oh, I hope they stay small though. I wonder if they'll grow big. Well, we'll find out, and if I don't like it, I'll just change the terrarium down the road. Anyway, I got some clovers and some moss in this one, and some algae on the lid. Ooh, that smells. That algae smells. Woo! Give me a second. I'm gonna go wipe my hand, because I got algae on my fingers. Okay, I'm back. Wiped the algae off my fingers. Anyway, like I said, I have collected moss throughout my yard for the last year pretty much, and put them in these containers to grow and get bigger, so I'd have hopefully enough moss for this. If not, I guess I'll go see if I can find some more in my yard. I only collect in my yard. I don't want to ruin the world and the ecosystem, but yeah. Down here on the ground, I have a bucket full of charcoal. That's charcoal. That's from my fire pit. We burned some wood. It turned black. I put it in a blender that I only use for non-food items, such as like eggshells and charcoal and whatnots for my craft stuff. I have my thing full of sand here. This is just play sand from Lowe's. I got it years ago for another project and then never used it. So it's just play sand. Sand you get for a play pit. So I got that. I need to go get some dirt and some fertilizer. So I guess I will show you some clips now of me making the cute little figurines, if they're in any good quality. If not, then we'll cut to the clips of me here in a second putting the terrariums together. I'm gonna move you over to my desk and we're gonna build some terrariums. Yay! I'm kind of excited.
Voiceover Raven time! So, this is me making the first Totoro, the big gray Totoro. Sorry for like the crappy quality in filming all these. It was my first time filming me doing any clay work. This one's probably some of the worst lighting and everything because I was filming in my basement. Anyway, so Totoro right there has a really ugly nose, and I apologize. We will be getting rid of that nose shortly, but that nose was, whew, that nose/mouth area. See, we got rid of it. Anyway, you'll probably notice in the background of all these videos that I have the 9-volt battery and like I think a AAA battery. Those I was using for size reference, because I didn't really want any of the characters being bigger than the 9-volt battery. So yeah, these videos go pretty quickly, of me showing you how I make the little clay things with a lot of cuts and edits because, man, I didn't know what I was doing. Now I'm making the blue Totoro. I'm trying to make him half the size of the gray Totoro. First I make a body, then I make a little white piece that goes for his tummy. And then after that I kind of put on the ears to figure out where I want the face, then I put on the face, and then I put on the little blue upside down V's, triangle things, that go on his tummy. And then generally I put on like the ears and the arms next. Actually, the arms and then the ears and then the tails. This Totoro, the first Totoro I made him so he can hold that leaf in the background behind him, the gray Totoro. This one, you can kind of see underneath my hand is some gold. I'm going to have him carry a bag like he does in the video, the little bag of seeds. And sorry, I keep taking him out of shot. I'm really bad at that. Oh, I should have edited that out, but oh well. I'm really bad at it on all the films. I keep taking them out of shot and I have to keep editing, taking them out of shot. I'm learning and I'm growing. They do progress and get better as time goes on. Anyway, there's that cute little bag I'm making where it has a little ruffle handle and then the bag. Once again, I should have edited more of me taking that out. Oh well. And then see his cute little arm holds the bag. It is so cute. And then he's got ears magically. See, I should have cut more. Oh well. It is what it is. I'm not going back and doing it. Now we're making the cute white one. This is probably the day I did the most work was these Totoro days. Well, actually, the first Totoro I did one day, and then the blue and the white one I did another day. And that's probably like the most time I ever had to sit down and work on pumping these guys out. Making these cute little Totoros. Um, and they got easier and easier because they have less and less details. Like the blue one doesn't have nails and little whiskers. And then this little baby one, he doesn't have a tail, and I don't put two hands, I only put one hand, and he doesn't have a nose and a mouth. They just got easier and easier, and I loved it. But yeah, there we go. There's all three little Totoros. Okay, now I am going to make No Face. I want No Face to sit on a rock, so that's what I'm showing you is he's got an aluminum foil body, and he's sitting perfectly on a rock, and then I have a little piece of clay underneath the rock because the rock kept trying to tip over. So the little piece of clay is there to keep the rock balanced while I'm working on him. So I covered my aluminum foil with black clay. Now I have some pink little strings, I guess we're going to call them strings, and I'm rolling them together to make some what looks like, will eventually look like, a knitted blanket because I want my No Face to be knitting because No Face knits a lot and is known for knitting in Howl's Moving Castle. No, it's not Howl's Moving Castle. In Spirit Away. If I can know my Ghibli movies, gosh, Raven. Anyway, yeah, so that's what I'm making right here is his little knitted blanket. So you just twist those little pink strings and put them all next to each other and it looks like a knitted blanket. Now I've just put on his face mask, and I'm putting on his arms to see where I want them placed, and then I'll kind of pull them out and put the blanket underneath his hands. But first I wanted to see how that would all look out. See, I'm pulling his hands out, putting his little knit blanket with his knit, putting his other knit needle, and then his little hand on. This was so freaking difficult because those little pieces kept moving all over the place. But anyway, now he's got his little arms and his knit needle, and now we're getting his string, his little yarn. That will go straight to the cute little yarn ball. I love this. This was like the cutest. It was a pain in the butt because all the little teeny tiny pieces. But oh my gosh, that little yarn ball was so adorable. Now I'm making the forest spirits. I gotta remember their name. I have forgotten their name, and it's driving me crazy. This is probably my best editing and my best putting this on, but also my worst because there's like no information. Literally, there's just like a tic tac and some little strings, and I just bend them and put them on to look like he's folding his legs, doing a little meditation. Then I put a little ball onto that pole to keep his head and his body together. I should have done it with a lot more characters, but I forgot to do it till the end. Then I punch some holes for his eyes and his mouth, and they're colored them black, and there's a bunch of them. So now we're doing Sans wolf mask, and this one once again is pretty self-explanatory. I just have a little white disc, then I put a red disc on it, and then I use my little cutting tool thing to cut a bunch of lines in it to make it look like fur, which was super fun, and I thought that was so cool how great that turned out. It turned out amazing. Then I use my little stick tool to roll out the top, make it look more feathery wolf-like. Then I put some circles on, one for his mouth, and then I kind of made that more oval shape. And once again, I have these thin little strings that I put around the mouth and then squish that down so it doesn't move. Then I'll put on the eyes that are gold. Yes, I know it's kind of creepy without the black. It really kind of terrified me without the black. I was like, am I making this right? It doesn't look right. Oh, I had such a hard time getting this white one on the top. It kept bumping around and moving. You'll see it move around so much, and it was annoying me to heck and back. So even though I cut it, look, and I'm like, oh, I just need to up them a little bit. That one just jumps right off. Took me forever to get that on. Anyway, see, it still looks kind of weird to me, and I'm still like, oh my gosh, am I doing this right? And I punched the little eye holes to make myself feel better, and the mouth hole, and I was like, I can see it, I can see it, but I'm still not sure. Here I'm gonna put on the ears, and then I realized, oh, I forgot to give the ears some depth and make them look like ears, actually have ear holes. So I'm just making the little indents in the ears, making them look like they're rounded, and then sticking them on. And that's when the mask really started coming together. And then I put the black on, and it really truly looks like it. I felt so proud of myself for that.
Okay, we are here in my garage, and I'm getting the dirt I'm going to use for the terrariums. I actually get this peat moss, this black gold peat moss, for my carnivorous plants. I normally only use it for the carnivorous plants. Same with the perlite. But in this case, I'm going to use it for the terrarium because I think it would actually be really semi-beneficial and helpful in the terrarium. I know this has like zero nutrition in it, because that's what you need for carnivorous plants. But it also retains water really, really well, which is why I think it'd be great for the terrarium. And I think I'll just put some plant fertilizer in it, just a teeny, teeny, tiny bit of plant fertilizer if I can find any. I think I have a bottle upstairs. Just so I can give some nutrition to the moss and the other plants that are going to be in the terrarium. But anyway, what I use for my carnivorous plants, which is the same formula I'm probably going to use now, is 4 cups or 4 parts peat moss, 1 part perlite. So, yeah, 4 cups, 1 cup. And I'll probably just make a bunch of that and for the terrarium. So, yeah, look, you can even see my little measuring cup right there. Okay, that's what we're doing.
Okay, back to voiceover Raven. Okay, so I'm going to explain how terrariums are built in case anybody doesn't know. So the first thing I'm doing is putting sand. Normally you would put gravel down or sand, generally gravel or a little bit of rocks, little baby rocks. But because these things are so small, I went with sand. I figured that was a good substitute for gravel because they're just so teeny tiny. Like, look, they're the size of my hand. This top one, I can't even get my fingers into all the way. After that, I put a level of charcoal. You're supposed to do like active charcoal. Like I said, just use charcoal from my fire pit. And then I put in my dirt that I showed you. That's the 4 parts peat moss, and then 1 part the perlite. And then I'm just kind of packing that down. And then I'm doing the same for all of them because might as well do that step over and over and over again. So here's my charcoal. Just put a nice thin layer. This actually helps your terrarium kind of be sanitized, doesn't get the mold going on in it. um, just keeps everything nice, clean, and healthy. Helps purify some of the water or whatever. Then once again, put in the dirt. I really should have watered this dirt and got it damp and wet before putting it in, but oh well, too late. I watered it later on. So once again, charcoal and then some dirt. I just put all the dirt flat because I didn't know how I wanted the terrariums to be laid out the landscape. Generally this is actually when you do that is when you put the dirt down, you kind of build the landscape you want. But I really had no idea what I was doing at this point. I was just like, just give everybody the same basic neutral base. Which is a great place to start, flat land. See, look, you're gonna see right here. I can barely get my fingers in to pack that dirt down a little better. I'm like, oh man, it was awkward. Okay, now I decided to go with the baby one, the tallest one, the top one, because it is the smallest and I knew I just wanted it flat. I knew I didn't want to do anything really specific with it. I actually had planned on putting a character that was going to fly in here, but that didn't work out. And so this one I just wanted flat landscape. Like you can kind of see in the middle I have some clover sticking up. But on that it's just green moss, just green flat moss. So it was one of the easiest ones to do. That's why I wanted to start with that. And then once you're done filling your terrarium, you just wipe down the sides and make sure it all looks nice. Now I'm going to do the big one because this is the one I was also the most excited about and the most terrified with. I put in these dragon tails that I absolutely wasn't sure that they would fit in the terrarium or look nice in the terrarium, but once putting them in, whew, I was in love with them. They look so great in here and give it so much depth. At the beginning, I kind of put them in the center and then realized, wait, we want a foreground, and a background. So I picked them up and put them towards the back. And then I'm putting in these little leafy guys in. I still don't know what their names are. And then I'm kind of filling them all around with some dirt just to help stabilize the plant, give that little heel, little depth to my terrarium. Got to make sure we got some dirt in the back. So we got to squish everybody so we can get our hand in dirt back there. So, which is okay, because you'll notice as I'm going, I kind of move these tree-like dragon tails all over the place and constantly moving them, fidgeting with them. See, they were all bunched and now they're different. And I'm constantly fidgeting with them, Now we're putting down some moss. It's some little grassy moss. I love the moss. It looks like grass. It's just the coolest effect to me. I know it's so simple and easy, but it's so cool. But anyway, you just fill up the whole rest of the thing with moss, and that's what I'm doing. Just filling it up, trying to get it in between all the trees and all the plants, just like you would see grass in nature, in between all the trees and all the plants. Making sure it looks natural. Actually, it's really kind of easy to make it look natural. I know that was like one of my most intimidating things when I first made terrariums. It's how do you make it look natural and not like man-made and artificial? And it's a lot easier than you think. You just kind of plop it in there and you're like, yep, kind of looks nice. If it does looks too perfect, then you just rough it up a little bit. You just kind of move it around, make it look a little not perfect. One of my biggest tips and secrets for making things look natural is what I'm about to do right now is you kind of just rough it up is you put rocks and wood chips in because that totally takes it from okay this looking okay to like this looks so natural and so like you're in nature. It's really kind of hard to tell in this scene right here because I did not realize how shiny these bowls were till after I got done editing or got done filming and now I'm editing. Now I'm putting in characters after putting those rocks in. I'm putting the robot arm and then the robot head. And now I'm putting in the Totoros. Didn't actually fidget with the characters a whole lot of putting them in. I was just like, yep, I think right here. It's kind of surprising to me how much I just stuck them in there. I was like, yep, this is it. I did move the characters around a little bit and put some rocks or some more moss underneath them just to help them look a little more natural, pose whatever way I wanted them to pose. Oh, these trees in the smaller one were the pain. They would not stay. So I just put them in, put some more dirt around them. Now I'm putting some moss around them, mostly in the back first, and then I'm gonna push them back and put some moss in the front to help stabilize these little trees. There's some more of my little clovers. Because I wanted to put, okay, besides the top one, I wanted to make sure they all had at least 2 different species of plants. I really would have preferred 3 in the big one, but I didn't have a lot of options to choose from. And I didn't want to put all 3 options in the bottom one. I wanted to do 2, and I wanted every single one to have a mixture of 2 different types of plants. So this one has the dragon tail and the clovers. The top tier only has 1, and it's just the clovers. The bottom has 2. The rest have 2. So here I am putting that one in. I cleaned off the container and didn't put any rocks in first. I actually wanted no face in first because no face is on a rock. And I wanted to make sure he fit in just right, looked just right, and then fit everybody else around him. So here I'm putting more Ross around Calcifer to keep him sitting the way I like him. Oh, and this stupid mask. That mask took me forever. I fidget with it and fidget with it for forever just to try to get it look right. I put moss in, took moss out. I could not get that mask to be the way I wanted it to be. See, I'm putting moss in. Oh, that mask drove me crazy. Anyway, now I'm putting in the stones and wood chips. I actually put more wood chips on Calcifer's side and more stones towards No Face. I mean, they did cross a little bit. Like, I do have a couple stones by Calcifer. Like I have a little stone that I just moved by Calcifer and the bigger stone right by No Face. Because that makes more logical sense. If you're by a fire, you're going to see more wood. If you're by No Face with a giant rock, I want over there to be like more rocky land. So that made more logical sense. It's probably the one that probably looks the least natural, but it made sense to my little logic brain. Okay, so here I am putting in some clovers and some moss. I was going to put the little leaf guy in, but I kind of was like, oh, I'm going to destroy him if I put him in first. So I put on all the moss and clovers in first, just to make sure we had everything right. At this point, I was scrounging for moss. I was using all the last little moss I had, even the moss I didn't like, this tall little long moss. I don't like it, but it was all the moss I had left, so I put it in the foreground and realized, ooh, it's too tall to be in the foreground. We'll make it look like a big tall grassy hill in the back and move them towards the background. And then I put the little plant in. So, and then I'm putting in some rocks and stones to help support that plant, make everything look nice. Yeah. And then we'll get the characters in here in just a little bit. I fidget with these rocks way too much in this one. I was trying to hide all the bare spots. To tell you the honest truth, I was really trying to hide all the bare spots in this one. So
So I'm trying to fit myself and the terrariums into the camera, into the via camera, and not just be a floating head. And you can see them, but dude, see, like the bottom terrarium is like literally as big as my hands. These guys are itty bitty teeny tiny. So, yeah, like the soot sprites are literally the size of a pepper, like a whole peppercorn. That's what it's called, peppercorn. They're tiny. Actually, I got done all making all the soot sprites. My husband was like, "Why didn't you use peppercorn?" Well, now you tell me. So I had really fun doing the clay work for these, the polymer clay work for these guys. I really actually did enjoy having time to sit and work on them. But I also kind of felt like sewing was a lot easier because the cats came out really grody. I don't like the heads on the cats, and I tried and I didn't like them. Calcifer took me like 3 or 4 tries. Totoro took me forever because I couldn't figure out how to do his face and just had to accept that Totoro looks surprised. All the Totoros look surprised. And then even then when I was looking at like reference pictures, I was like, ah, yes, all the Totoros look surprised. I would have to say the robots were the easiest. The forest spirits, I can't remember what they're called. The forest spirits, I had like 3 or 4 different variations? 3 or 4 different variations before I settled on these guys. And they're sitting in a handful of different poses. But yeah. Also, I super glued all the soot sprites and the forest people onto the pieces of wood. What is that called? The wood chips and the stones, just so that they wouldn't get lost in the moss as the moss grows or over time. But also at the same time, that kind of bit my butt because the super glue, I'm not the best person to use super glue. I actually am surprised my husband even allowed me to use super glue because generally we have a rule at the house that I'm not allowed to use super glue. Even with adult supervision, I'm not allowed to. Because I glue my hands together on accident and on purpose. But anyway, I gotta use super glue without adult supervision. And that kind of bit me in the butt because the super glue ended up turning the Scent Sprites a little whitish. Which I'm bummed. But it is what it is. But I think it turned out overall really, really cute. I do think in the future when I'm done with this, I'm going to put some spots of like hot glue. Not like the whole thing, just a couple of spots of hot glue around each one of the tops. That way they kind of sit better and they're kind of more locked in and they don't do that. Or, you know, as you can see the bottom one's doing that now. Yeah. But they're easy to take off and spray them with water or pour some water in there. I do need to pour some water with some fertilizer in it, but we'll get to that in a second. Also, I'm kind of bummed. I'll need my husband's help. I wanted Gigi to fly in the terrarium, but I couldn't figure her out and I didn't trust myself. Now I can't get Gigi to fit in there. I didn't trust myself, and I didn't trust myself with the super glue to glue some fishing line to it and then to the jar. So I'll have to once again have my husband do that. Anyway, once again, see, that's why I need some couple of pieces of hot glue just to stabilize this better. Okay, now onto the fertilizer. So I am going to use a single drop of fertilizer to water this whole entire thing, just for the first go around, because like I said, the dirt is the peat moss, the black gold peat moss, and it literally has zero nutrition in it, and plants need nutrition. Well, at least some of these plants need nutrition. I'm pretty sure moss does too, but I need to go look that up. Oh, that spilt on me. Anyway, so the two fertilizers I have, I might use, I'm still trying to figure out which one I think would be best, is I do have the Grow Big for vegetables. I'm thinking about this one because it's a 644, so it's a lot more of all the ingredients. And it has more ingredients, but it's also like one that kind of makes plants. Oh, I gotta set that down. But it's also one that makes plants grow really big and luscious, so I don't know if I really want to use that because I kind of want to keep them small. But they also do need nutrition. So we're kind of mixed. I do have this plant starter, which both of these I got at a discount store. I didn't really pay full price for them. I don't normally pay full price for fertilizer because I have a compost. Ooh, that's a good idea. I should use compost tea. Okay, maybe I won't use any of these. But anyway, like I was going to say, I could use probably a drop of that. But now I'm thinking I'm going to make some compost tea and use that to water these guys. Because that's more nutritious. And that's what I do with my other plants. So, don't know why I didn't think of that first. That was interesting. So I hope you guys like this video and my cute little characters, my Ghibli characters. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the little bell notification so you can see more videos that I make. Those things really do help my channel and I really, really, really do appreciate them. So please do them. And thank you guys for watching this long and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye. I don't know how to wave. Bye. I couldn't figure out how to wave because I was like, wait, I'm blocking the thing. Just a floating head. That's all I am. There we go.
Tell when you're done playing with yourself.
I'm playing with myself. What?
You're just constantly. I don't know.
I was just trying to adjust the light, and then I tried to move the thing, and I almost knocked over the terrariums, and I didn't even record it, and it was scary.
It was scary.
It was like, it was terrifying. Okay, let's go and do this.